Welcome back to another amazing Anime Vanguards discussion video by yours truly. What will we be discussing today? Well, as you read from the thumbnail or the title, whatever, Anime Vanguards, as we know, I think their official anniversary has actually happened. So happy anniversary, happy 1 year birthday to Anime Vanguards. Game has definitely had its ups and downs for sure, and I mean, I think in a few days' time it'll be the 1 year anniversary for a video, obviously special to me. The very first ever Alucard video, I believe that is in 4 days. 4 days for me. The very end of the 1 year anniversary, the making of that video, which actually, started my whole YouTube thing. I don't know if we'll make anything out of that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just something cool to know. But yeah, Anime Vanguards, happy 1 year. They've obviously started. They've just given out maybe a couple hours ago anniversary rewards, which, as you can see from the screen, I mean, dude, what the fuck? What's this? 40, 60, 80, 100, 100, 250 rerolls for free just by logging in. I mean, PD is 1500, but I can't exactly complain at 250 free rerolls. I don't think many people can. And this is the countdown. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've still got to go through one more update. The Vegeta and Broly Vanguard, which I think I'm very keen for. If it's going to be Dragon Ball Super Broly, which is a great movie. Vegeta, unfortunately, I do not have my shiny still anymore. If you guys remember from way back when, Vegeta used to be the fucking guy, bro. I think my Vegeta legit has, like... Let me just have a look how many takedowns. This guy was the OG, macro goat for gems, I remember, should be infinite. Yeah, my Vegeta has 5.8 million takedowns. So he's been around. He's been around for quite some time. Which he's definitely stood it. He's definitely stood it this time. Pretty awesome unit. I've got a theory on him, which, I mean, I'm kind of, in a sense, a little bit hoping that the Vanguard unit will be sort of like an Akaz. You know what I mean? Like a really, really insane sort of Akaz, you place down the Broly, then the Vegeta, then the Goku, and you kind of want ethereal on them. But I wouldn't mind them making a Monarch, especially if they make the unit, really cool, because Broly, is just a fucking sick character, to be honest. I don't really see how they can mess it up. Probably make him broken. I assume it'll just be like a dungeon update, probably get 2 units out of it, the Vegeta Evo, and then probably, I don't know, if they wanted to make like a God Goku or like a Blue Goku, they could. Maybe a Golden Frieza, they could do that too, especially now, Dokkan's got Golden Frieza right now. Obviously, Part 2 Broly's coming out soon, but, Golden Frieza's still fresh on people's minds, so that could be something nice. That could be a unit they could do, just as a side, sort of like Choi from when the Dungeons for Sung Jin Woo dropped. I wouldn't mind that. But this video, already gone off topic, but we are obviously discussing what I would expect and what I hope for them to add for the anniversary. Obviously, there's probably a chance that these things won't be added. This is all just speculation and cope and hope and whatever you want to call it. Just some things that I want to see in this game, after 1 year, 1 year of support, 1 year of being alive. It's a pretty long time. It's been a while. It's been quite a bit. And I guess let's just dive straight into it. I mean, the first thing that I would want, I've been preaching about this ever since fucking update, update 1 probably, when they added Toji, maybe even Diogo. I haven't sort of talked about it in a long time because it's just sort of been a pipe dream. But I think if any update had the highest chance to add this feature, it would be this one. And of course, I think most of you already know what I'm talking about, and that would be unit trading. Now, this is, believe it or not, a very, very simple thing. In my head, at least. Maybe the code, this is something extremely hard. There's obviously definitely a reason why they haven't implemented it yet, for whether it be they think that there's not enough units in the game to actually create like a proper economy. I think at this current point where we are, I think there are plenty. I think there are more than plenty. I think obviously you've got your high value units, such as like Diavolo, Shiny Diavolo, the leaderboard units from like Season 1, like Broly, Shiny Broly, even Season 2 leaderboards would still be considered, pretty valuable. I'm not exactly sure who it is, but it's like some Manhwa sword guy, I don't know. But he'd just be a cool person to have, person to trade for. Can't really complain too much there. So, I mean, all they really have to do is just copy and paste, trading from AA. Trading, obviously, in AA, you could trade stats, you could trade skins. In this game, stat trading probably wouldn't be. I'm not sure if they would reset stats on units when trading them. I don't actually wouldn't. I don't know if I would mind that. Because obviously, then it sort of creates like a godly economy. Like, oh, I'm trading this godly, looking for whatever. Um, it probably wouldn't be as crazy as AA's, SSS economy with how crazy that shit was back in the day. But I mean, nowadays, like with how easy, I don't know if they would make stat transferring like guaranteed because you can obviously just plaster on a triple godly always because godlies they are somewhat hard to get. Obviously, you can't get them from just evoing, from a Z plus into a godly. That used to be a thing for a bug, but obviously not anymore. And the only way you can do is roll them. And my godly luck, I mean, I wouldn't say it's horrible, but over a year, like, dude, these things are kind of hard to get. I've only gotten 11 godly damages and 8 godly ranges, but I've only gotten a single, yes, one godly SPA, which I mean is kind of insane. 19 versus the one, like this is just fucked, is it not? So I don't know. They obviously it's up to them if they're even going to add it in the first place. But trading, they could do it however, and as long as you can actually trade, don't do it like AD with like gems trading. Just keep it units, keep it skins and units, and maybe you can decide whether or not you want to have them get the stats reset upon trading or not. If you really want to keep goalies exclusive as they have been. But yeah, obviously, at the end of the day, the decision is all up to the developers, and I'm just here talking. So yeah, trading. I don't see it being a negative thing for the game whatsoever, especially a whole year in. If only it only would just add another layer among the many that this game already has, and I'd be very keen to see that be implemented. Okay, well, the second thing that I've been wanting for a long time, also, believe it or not, is guilds. Now, in many of these tower defense games, guilds is obviously a feature. In my head, when I think of guilds, I think of AA. But, obviously AA, they had a leaderboard for the guilds, and the way they did it was sort of annoying because when you think of a guild, you think of like, okay, it's like a lot of people in one group, right? You think of like a whole community. But in AA, it was only a max of 10 people, which I think is just way too small. And I think for this game, if they do actually decide to add guilds this current update, please do copy and paste the whole AA system where you've got the name of the guild and the photo above your head. I think that's just perfect. I don't see any problem with that at all. Obviously, keep it one name exclusivity so you can't have 4 guilds with the same name or whatever. Like, dude, so stuff like that would just be super dope. Seeing like cool named guilds, of day one, people are sniping shit, especially because the game's still pretty big. Sitting at like CCU of like 70, 80k, like, which is like, it's been how many weeks since the update? Probably 1 or 2, something like that. And we've still sitting on those numbers, which is insane. So seeing how many cool guilds could just be created in the influx so quickly, if they decide to add that, would just be insane. Obviously, with the guilds, make the cap, I feel like there's like 2 correct ways you could do this. Make the cap something pretty big, like 30. So obviously it's more than 10. If you are implementing a leaderboard though, I would say actually like make it so only the highest track damage. If you guys want to do it by damage, obviously this is just all speculation, all spitball, all concept, whatever. But if you do want to make it scale like a leaderboard base of damage, just like AA did, and obviously you want to reset it every couple of weeks or whatever for rewards. Obviously AA promised to do that, but never did. Then make it 30 players in a guild, just a random number. But only make the the highest 10 people damage like actually count towards LB progression. I think that's a pretty decent way of doing it. So that obviously if you have 30 people who are just completely juiced out, it wouldn't even really matter apart from just, you really want just like those 10 people, the top 10 highest, for that to actually, make a difference. Or you could do that same thing, but legit make guilds, you could make them quite literally infinite in the amount of members. I think I would prefer this less towards something like a stat cap of 30. But then, doing the infinite thing, you could still have just make the top 10, top 20, whatever people count. Probably top 10, just because I don't know how many guilds would actually get 20 members unless they're like full sweat, like try-hard guilds. So So probably keep it to 10, and then, make it either unlimited members or 20 members, whichever. I just think, playing, it will just create a more sense of the community, especially for someone like me. I've got my Discord server has like a pretty, I feel like we're pretty tight knit. Like we're always sort of playing games or constantly chatting, always activity going on. Like we're always doing something. And having an AV, the fact that, we can all just grind together as part of just one big whole group, would just benefit the game tremendously. Like it would just, just another sense of community. I don't know how many times I've said that already, but there you go. For the third thing, I mean, obviously, we'll get like the obvious stuff out of the way. I expect them to add, events for this anniversary update, a new game mode. The units will obviously be insane. A big code. I mean, I think with the anniversary rewards, I think once the anniversary actually starts the update, will have more daily login. If I were to assume. But then obviously you've got, from events, you already get like, there was a time during this update where you'd be getting 60 rerolls on login without even doing like, boss rush or rifts or anything like that. Like it was insane. It was so good. And I think the reroll economy has really improved in this game over time. Like you can see a lot more people actually like, oh, I'm going to focus this one unit and I'm going to go specifically for this one unit to get the unique that I want, because obviously, there's a pity. You can see the pity. The pity itself isn't like a horrendous amount, especially with how much traits you're gaining even as a free-to-play player. Like I think it's quite good, and I would just keep it up, do whatever works. There's no point of changing it. But I think for a thing that would be very interesting, and this was actually suggested, I think it was posted in the actual suggestions chat by one of the people in my Discord. Shout out Yelfie Meister, shout out Yelfgod, the Yelfie. And that, I don't know if they would actually think about adding this, because this is insane. This is probably the biggest stretch so far, but maybe not. I don't know. This would genuinely bring back a lot of people to this game, as if something as hype as Anniversary 1 year, with the amount of rewards being given out, and obviously the level and quality of the units that I assume would just be off the charts. Something like this, which I'll get into in a second, would be insane. And that, what I'm talking about, is actually refreshing. Right? Refreshing every single raid shop, exchange shop, whatever, in the whole game. So rerolls that have been claimed already, just bring them back. And obviously you guys might sound like, dude, this would fucking destroy the RR economy. And now I'm saying, it's like, if someone should probably do the calcs, but if we really think about it, it would probably be around maybe 300 to 400 rerolls total. But obviously, you'd have to play for these. You'd have to clear like Steel Ball Run Raid, which like the currency gain from that without MVP is just a fucking hassle. Like it's just AIDS. Stuff like the Command Seal shop. What's that? That's like another 20 euros that you could get. Yeah, 20. Don't refresh like event shops. So like obviously the summer or the spring, which won't even be here by the time Annie comes out, which it's going away next update, just in case you guys didn't know that you want to grind for that. Same with World Lines, make sure you actually do that, get that done. But like stuff like, the dungeon shop, raids, fuck it, even PvP, I'm not sure if that actually resets or not, but do that too, like, just stuff like that I think will genuinely, even, you could even do some of the achievements. I don't think unit achievements are very necessary, because obviously they give you the banner and they actually quite juice you out. There's like a lot of rerolls there. But you could even just do some of the clear rerolls, something like, the Train Station Massacre achievement, which is just when Shibuya came out. You just have to clear all of the stages on Nightmare and you get what? Let's just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rerolls from clearing the stages, and then just 5 rerolls from just claiming the whole thing, and that's just 11 rerolls right there. Spread that across, a bit of other achievements. That's like probably what, give or take 50. Like it's really, I don't think it's actually as many rerolls that people might think. Like if you just think just straight off rip, like, oh my god, this is so many rerolls. It's probably actually not that many. But when you factor in that we've got the anniversary reward, we've got probably we've got some crazy events probably coming up, like the Shiny Hunter event. This is the most slept on shit ever probably. Like I had 400k gems saved up. I went for 2 shinies that I wanted, and I probably got around 150 rerolls, 200 rerolls, just from exchanging like legendaries. And I saved up 3 million iced tea because I wanted base Escanor as well on top of my current shiny one, yes sir. Because I actually don't like the cosmetic for the shiny all that much, which I did end up getting. But I got a lot of shiny exclusives from that too, so that's obviously another thing that you may be able to do. as for like some of the units in Anniversary, I mean, that's obviously an idea out there. So resetting the rerolls from the shops, just in case the devs haven't thought about. I think it's a stellar idea. I think it's great. I think it would be, it would just keep you on the game more, just playing manually. But as for the units, I mean, Dio Over Heaven, I think, is the only one that's actually been confirmed, which I think, I don't know if I'd make him a Vanguard or a Seeker. I wouldn't really mind either. I think either would be nice. And at the end of the day, it's Dio Over Heaven. Very hype unit, as we know. It's the history of tower defense. AA, probably one of the most expensive units on that game. One of the most hype, recognizable units. And, I believe in this game that they've already do them justice, because they've got the precursor to something like this. They've got Diego, and Diego obviously has insane animations. He's got the voice lines, which is the one thing that I really, really want from a unit like Dio Over Heaven. Placement animation, attack animation on every single attack, time stop, something like that would just make this unit just completely out of this world. But as for the side banner units or the ads, whatever, just cook, whatever. I don't really have a preference too much. I already have the one unit that I would really want. Anything else that they decide to add, anybody else, cool. Will just be the icing on the cake. If they want to add Gintoki, then maybe go ahead, guys. I'm right here. Gintoki would be dope. I heard they were making a mythic farm. If they wanted to do a mythic farm for Annie, if they're not planning on doing it next update, maybe do a Hasegawa or something. Like, he's fishing for money under the vending machine. That'd be a pretty interesting mythic. Obviously self-plug in a sense, but it is what it is, bro. Whatever they want to do, I'd be keen with, because I think these devs have really stood the test of time. They've sort of proven that they actually know what they're about, and I have faith. I mean, obviously if it's a flop, I'd be disappointed, but I just don't really see it. I don't really see it being a flop. And I hope it's good, because 1 year, long time, big celebration. Let's do it right. Bit of a shorter one today. I hope you guys enjoy this little discussion video. Let me know, what kind of stuff you would maybe want to see for Anniversary in Anime Vanguards. Maybe it would spark some ideas of my own, and we can actually discuss it. Maybe the developers can see this, because apparently, they're out and about. And they're listening. So let's make our claims heard. If trading gets added, like, I'm ready, a happy chappy. Realistic, this is the only thing that I want. Guilds will be the cherry on top of the cake for me. But yeah, Anime Vanguards, top notch. Keep it up. Bless up. This game's fucking goated. Anime Crusaders, I've been addicted to a little bit. I won't lie. Probably a video on that coming out soon. But I really just wanted to get this out today, considering we're probably close to the next update, and then right after that, expect big things, 9.0, big ups. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.